So I want to talk about what it's like to be an actor with autism. And then I'll talk about autism afterwards. So on a reality show, I have actors working with me daily, and they are giving me, what they're told. They're doing a certain action. And so I have to read that action. But sometimes I have to also read, which is hard for me for one, but then sometimes the actors may be saying something and crying at the same time, which is hard, or upset. You could tell me they may be saying one thing to me, which is an action that's been given to them from the director, but I can see it in their face or their mannerisms that they're either upset or uncomfortable or or excited, so I really, here I am, a person with autism, having to read what is given to me, and then maybe mannerisms and things that don't match, because it is live acting. Sometimes the actor is nervous, sometimes I'm making them nervous because I'm upset. And then I've always kind of been like this, like I take all that information, like, did they touch their hand? Were they sweaty? What did their eyes go? What was going in that moment? What the words say to me? And I might process it that evening in bed and maybe understand it the next day. Which is hard. And when this first started, and through me starting to discover the reality show and being very sick, people would cry in conversation with me, just normal conversation, and have tears, and the actors would, of course, because they were upset for me, but they were giving me another action, and I was like, am I imagining this? And there's been times in my life people would do that, and it was usually times where I was really sick or stressed and didn't know. So I am not a physician. I've worked with children with autism. There are some things that can predispose you to that. Some people may argue with me. I have very, very gifted biological parents. They're very, like, genius level, so genius is sometimes on that field, and then changes as a young child, like being adopted. I may not remember the adoption or the moves, but there were some things that happened then, and I don't know if, because the show was about, me dealing with hardships constantly or disappointments constantly, if that had anything to do with it. And then, of course, the brain injury, pressure on the brain, my brain abnormalities, can cause my autism obviously to get worse. Have I always had it my whole life? Probably, but the manifestations of it have obviously, gotten much harder. I honestly do think it's a superpower sometimes. I wonder if I hadn't had it, if I would have done so well, or survived so long. It also helps me see and understand other things that people don't see and understand, or feel intuitively with animals or other emotions that I seem to get people that other people don't get, and animals, and a lot of people don't get animals. I kind of understand them. But my reasoning is a lot of visualizations of things I see and then putting them together later and remembering all those pieces and pulling those pieces together. And it's really hard. I don't know of any other actors with autism, in Hollywood. There's many types of autism, but I know I can act well. I can do parts and things like that. It's the intuitiveness of working with what's lie and truth. With that being said, when I get really, really upset, and this was before I got on my epilepsy med. It was like this huge feeling just swarms up in me, and a lot last summer. It was just like, it would just get up in me, and just all these thoughts would just, it was just like I felt like I was gonna explode. And it's gotten some better with the epilepsy meds, but that feeling would get up here, and the only thing I knew would either run outside or pet a dog or cat or drink, because it was like, and it was like I wanted to pull my skin off. It was just this, so I'd see something or something would happen, and it was like, I don't know how to explain it. And I think that's where a lot of the behaviors of autism, like self-harm or rocking or self-soothing, I've done all my life. But it's obviously gotten a lot more. In trauma, for someone with autism, I would like to see how veterans, and I would never compare myself to a veteran just because they're so honorable and special, but I wonder how your mind and trauma consistently works on the brain and stuff. But so I don't get things till much later and figure things out till much later. Sometimes I don't want to, because it's painful. But I do appreciate your patience. I like being different. I don't like being sick. But I do feel like we are all made uniquely for a reason. And I do want to leave, and I do want to feel better. Okay. Being an autistic actor on a reality show, reading 2 sets of body language, and putting that together over and over again in your mind, and remembering those languages, usually for years and years and years and years. Bizarre, isn't it?